Welcome to Wireless Quizzes for Moodle. This video is an introductory tutorial to creating questions in Wireless Quizzes, an external LTI tool for Moodle. You may be familiar with the first steps if you've created questions in Moodle before. Let's go over those now. After you log in, go to your dashboard and make sure editing is turned on. Click Add an Activity or Resource and select Quiz from the list of activities, then click Add. Add a name for the quiz and optionally a description. Change any of the activity options you want. We'll leave our settings at the defaults. Click Save and Display, then Edit Quiz. Our quiz will only have 3 questions, so we'll change the maximum grade to 3. Notice the Shuffle checkbox. Select this box if you want the questions to be shuffled, so each student sees the questions in a different order from what other students see. To add the first question, click the Add link and the Plus a New Question option. The Wireless Quizzes extension adds 6 additional question types to the standard Moodle question types. These are similar to the standard Moodle question types, but with largely extended mathematical capability. We'll describe each question type briefly. Close. Use this question to embed multiple questions of different types inside a single question. You'd use Essay to ask an open question where the student has space to leave a detailed answer. This is the only type you'll grade manually. In a matching question, students match a list of items to the correct items from a different list. A multiple choice is a standard multiple choice question. In a short answer question, you'd ask a question with a small blank for a student answer, which is automatically graded. The true-false question type is to ask a question with a true or false answer. We'll now give a generic overview of what a Wireless question type looks like. We'll use the short answer type since it is one of the most representative. Select that question type, then click Add to begin. All question types have a few fields for data that is relevant to the question type, such as question name, question text, choices in the case of multiple choice, feedback, and so on. In this regard, the interface is identical to Moodle question types, so we won't focus on that. Let's enter our question. In our question, as well as our answer, we'll be using variables with randomized values, so each student sees a different version of the quiz. In order to let Wireless Quizzes know it's a variable, we need to precede it here with the pound sign. To open the Math Editor, click the Show Hide button, then click the Math Editor icon. What Wireless Quizzes adds is a new dialog for handling mathematical behavior. This dialog is called Wireless Quizzes Studio. We can always access it by clicking this icon. Once we're in Quizzes Studio, the available options will depend on the type of question we're editing. We're using a short answer type in this example, which has the most features out of all the question types. What we'll find here are settings for controlling various aspects of the question in a way that allows mathematical content to be handled flexibly. The different options are divided into 4 distinct tabs. As we mentioned before, different question types will vary here. For example, the true-false question has no validation tab, since the only possible answers are true and false. Let's go over the tabs one by one. To start with, the correct answer field has an integrated math type editor, which allows typeset mathematical formulas to be used as a correct answer. This means students will have the same editing possibilities for their answer as well. Below the editor, we'll find additional options for the student's input method. The next tab is called Validation. Wireless Quizzes recognizes mathematical input from the student, and here we control the details of how to assess this input. We can ask for specific units, control which symbols are recognized as constants, as well as a wide range of format options. Below that, there is the Variables tab. Without this tab, Wireless Quizzes is already capable of a lot, but once we start using variables, we will truly explore all that Wireless Quizzes has to offer. In this interface, we can define variables to use in several parts of the question. The environment is a computer algebra system, which means variables can be numeric as well as symbolic. By using some of our random functions, we can make a variable take on a random value in a range we specify, then different students viewing the question would have different questions with different answers. This is a typical scenario for use of variables, but with a bit of creativity, there's a wide variety of possibilities. The last tab is called Preview, and the name is pretty self-explanatory. Here we can quickly simulate the evaluation of a student answer in order to test that all of our settings from the various tabs are working as we intended. Once you're done with Wires Quizzes Studio, press the OK button on the bottom left or press Cancel to exit without saving any changes. When you've finished editing the entire question, just click Save Changes at the bottom and the question will be added into the question bank. Once you've finished adding questions, click Save, then return to the quiz. Now you can preview the quiz if you want to make sure everything's working as intended. Now we see our question and answer are working correctly, but we can also edit the question if we want. Let's do that. In our case, all we want to do is add a question mark at the end of the question, but to edit the math, I'd double-click it to open it in the Math Type Editor. If I wanted to edit the algorithm, or if one of the variables isn't working correctly, I can click the Quizzes Studio icon in the Answers section. Once I've finished, I'll click Save Changes. After once again verifying all is well, I finish review and we're finished. We've added 2 more questions that we didn't show in the video, so now our complete quiz has 3 questions. Let's see how the quiz looks to the student. All the coefficients and constants will be different for each student because we program them to be randomized. We've also ticked the box for shuffled questions, so not only will no 2 students see the exact same questions, but no 2 students will see the questions in the same order. Let's finish our quiz. We've specified in one of the questions we want the students to show their work. They do that on the scratch pad, which they'd access by clicking the expander button, then the pencil icon. This will be passed along to the instructor as is. Students can go back and retry any question if they want, as long as they haven't submitted the quiz yet. We've answered all the questions and we're pretty confident about our answers, so let's submit all and finish. Once we do submit it, we can see our grade here, and we can also view our grade in the gradebook. We see we've taken 1 quiz so far this semester, and our score was 3 out of 3 for 100%. Now back in Faculty View, we can view the gradebook for the class and see details on any student if we want. We can also update the grading if warranted or provide individual feedback notes to a student. This has been a short overview of how to make a question with Wires Quizzes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips and tutorials, or visit our website at www.wires.com. Follow the link at the top right to learn more about Wires Quizzes for Moodle.